One of the most resonant books about rejection from close friends is Big Friendship, which reads partly like a memoir and partly like a cultural intervention. The authors tell the story of their own friendship rupture with disarming honesty, beginning from a place of deep intimacy and shared identity and moving through resentment, silence, and eventual repair. What makes the storytelling powerful is that the rejection is not dramatic or explosive. It is quiet, confusing, and prolonged, which mirrors how most real-life friend breakups happen. As the narrative unfolds, the book shows how rejection from a close friend often feels worse than romantic loss because there are no scripts for it. The authors describe the internal spirals that arise when a friend pulls away, self-blame, catastrophizing, and the fear that one is fundamentally unlovable. These moments are rendered through personal anecdotes rather than abstract theory, which makes the emotional impact immediate and recognizable. You feel the ache of unanswered texts and the humiliation of realizing you matter less than you thought. The actionable insight emerges through the author's insistence on naming friendship as a relationship worthy of effort and repair. They show how avoiding difficult conversations allows rejection to harden into narrative, and how directly expressing hurt can reopen dialogue even when it feels risky. Rather than prescribing rigid rules, the book models emotional courage by showing what it looks like to ask for clarity instead of silently withdrawing. Another key takeaway is their exploration of boundaries as an antidote to resentment. The authors explain how overgiving in friendships can quietly create power imbalances that later feel like rejection when expectations go unmet. By narrating their own missteps, they invite the reader to audit their friendships for unspoken contracts and to renegotiate them openly. This makes the book feel practical without ever losing its warmth. By the end, the resolution is not framed as a fairy tale reconciliation but as a mature recalibration. The story affirms that not all friendships can or should be saved, but that honest engagement allows rejection to become information rather than a verdict on your worth. The book leaves you with a deeper respect for friendship as a dynamic, evolving bond rather than a static promise. A more psychologically grounded but equally compassionate exploration appears in Platonic, which examines how friendship wounds form and why rejection by close friends can feel destabilizing. Franco weaves research with case studies and personal reflection, creating a narrative that feels intimate while remaining intellectually rigorous. Rejection here is framed not as personal failure, but as the collision of attachment styles, social habits, and unmet emotional needs. The storytelling often centers on people who cannot understand why friendships fade despite effort and goodwill. Franco describes how humans are wired to perceive social rejection as threat, activating the same neural pathways as physical pain. By grounding emotional suffering in biology, the book offers immediate relief from shame and reframes rejection as a universal human experience rather than a personal flaw. What makes the book actionable is its focus on reparable behaviors rather than fixed personality traits. Franco shows how avoidance, mind reading, and emotional suppression unintentionally push friends away, even when the intention is to preserve harmony. Through narrative examples, she demonstrates how small changes in communication can dramatically alter relational outcomes. One particularly useful theme is the distinction between proximity-based friendships and choice-based friendships. Franco explains how many close bonds form through circumstance, and how rejection can occur when life transitions remove the scaffolding that once sustained closeness. The book teaches readers to grieve these losses without turning them inward, and to consciously build friendships that are maintained through intention rather than convenience. By the conclusion, the reader is equipped with a new lens for interpreting rejection. Instead of asking, "What is wrong with me?" the book encourages questions about compatibility, capacity, and timing. The emotional tone remains hopeful without being naive, emphasizing that meaningful friendships can be built later in life once these patterns are understood.